Hello everyone, welcome to whatever this is. All right, I got the screen down here. This is gonna be the first demo run of whatever. Hopefully you can hear, hopefully you can see. You probably can't do any of that. There is so much technology going on right now that anyone who knows, I plug in a toaster and it blows up. So if you don't care for classic games, even if you don't care for me, stick around for the fact that something is probably going to explode within the next 2 hours. But hello everyone, hello, okay, you can see, hello. Hi Fennec, Neko, Christian, Raynok, everyone, hope you're having a great night. Fennec, Hackin' Quackin', Miles Luigi I saw was in there. Is that an AirPod? It's not, it's bootleg AirPod. We got bootleg AirPods. But everything else is pretty ship-shape, I think. If maybe someday I'll upgrade to real AirPods. But I'm a little bit behind the times in terms of wireless headsets, but it's getting the job done right now. Yeah, this is the Comfy Classic Chat, everyone, because I thought it'd be fun to have a show where we just enjoy video games. Your feed is probably full of just like, the world is ending, the game industry is exploding, how will we survive? And then there's also the fact that so often with classic games, it's like everything is super serious. The prices are exploding. It's the end of the world. Well, that's exactly what we're not supposed to be focusing on here. The point here is just to enjoy games as they were meant to be enjoyed and forget about all that. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun because I hope you enjoy seeing the things that we're going to be looking at, as well as the fact that there are things that just like, even I haven't hooked up or unboxed in who knows how many years. So it will be a great opportunity for all of us to take a trip back to the stuff we used to enjoy. That's Christian. Looking good, hopefully sounding good. I haven't been talking to myself this whole time. The bars on the laptop are hopefully good. Hopefully there's not much lagging. You'll probably notice that this is only on the YouTube because test streams prove that 2 HD cameras plus everything else, I guess multi-streaming, it wasn't all that happy with. We'll see if we can do something about that at some point. But otherwise, yeah, this is it's my first appearance in front of the camera. in a long time too, kind of. People who may not know, maybe you're more of a recent viewer, the game display was always kind of about like the gameplay and the physical kind of demonstration side of things as well. And for many, many years, it's just kind of gone down to the gameplay side. So this is really a step back to basics, but an evolution of what we used to see in terms of me just kind of sitting on a couch and yapping about a bunch of stuff. Now we can stand in front of a table and yap about stuff. So hope you enjoy that. Hi, Jay Sets, you have a World of Nintendo sign hanging in your room. That's awesome. It's World of Nintendo. Like Nintendo, you want to get on people's good side, bring that back. Bring back the big like neon bright World of Nintendo signs, and everyone will be loving that. Yeah, it's all sounding good, looking good. So happy everyone. Wheels, hope everyone had a good Valentine's Day. I'm sure everyone's been very busy all day, and appreciate you all, taking a break from your busy schedules to stop by. So every Saturday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., the goal is to just talk about stuff. And every week I'm gonna kind of bring in a theme, bring in kind of a main encompassing topic or like activity for us to do, whether it be like unboxing something, hooking something up, doing who knows what. But I'm also up for like, just scream it out if there's something you want me to, pull out of the cabinet and see, depending on how involved it is. We might like save it for a dedicated stream or something, but like every Saturday, 8 to 10, that's the plan, is to do a thing like this. Plus, of course, you get, B3313 on Tuesdays, plus probably something else on the Thursdays as well. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So I know I'm just yapping right now, but that's kind of how it's going to be, right? Like we're just kind of relaxing. It's not supposed to be super serious. Wasn't expecting you to appear on camera. So that's why it's taken a little bit to get this ready. Like I said, we got two cameras hooked up. You can kind of see this one. This one points down so that you can see fancy things laid out on the table when we unbox them and all that. Plus, of course, you got the one pointing at me. Plus, we got like a laptop there, another older laptop there that like crashes when you blink at it wrong. So that has the chat on it. So if at some point I can't see your chats anymore, I'm sorry. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Of course, the microphone, the fake AirPod. So like I said, just stick around because something is bound to break before we hit 10 o'clock here. Raynok! How many transparent consoles do I have? I have all the N64s. So you can see some of them here. You can see the orange, you can see the pink, and you can see green and blue, but there's also a whole bunch of boxed ones down below as well. So that's the cool, that's why I wanted the mic on the collar, so that I can still do things and you guys can still hear me while I'm doing them. But give me a second here. Now, anyone who tunes in now will think that you're just listening to a table talking to you. That's absurd. But like some of the boxed ones are in the cabinet too. So like this is what I'm talking about. It's like we can unbox things, look at things, just have some fun with the retro stuff. But yeah, those ones are kind of there. There's the gold N64. Of course, transparent's not exclusive to N64, but I think it's the main console we all think about when we look at when we think about that, right? There's some Game Boys that were kind of like that. Of course, this is like the the gray one, the black one. So it's kind of the most like least noticeable of the clear ones. But there's some other ones down here too. Like maybe you don't want that one. Maybe you want the grape one in the box. We can do that too. It's funny how they kind of look the same with the lighting. Well, when they're side by side, they're not so the same. What have we got here? The Mario telephone looks interesting. So I did a whole video on that back in the day. So that's the thing. Again, I know I have quite a few people have found my channel recently, and I thank you so much for that. There are some older videos on there as well, so you could find one about the Mario telephone and unboxing that and even trying it out, hearing it ring. What do you think it sounds like when it rings? Check out that video if you want to see that. Congratulations on 29,000 subscribers. Thank you. It's been crazy. I really appreciate everyone's support so much recently. It's really meant a lot, and yeah, lots more content to come. So glad that everyone's enjoying it. But we'll put these away for now. Today is not an N64 day. Like I said, every stream, I'm going to bring something that we can kind of focus on mainly, but if there's anything else you want me to kind of talk about or look at too, I'm always up for suggestions. But let's put these back here. You can probably guess what we're going to talk about today. I didn't put it in the title so that it can be kind of a surprise. Again, hopefully you can still hear me while I'm bending down here and putting some things back into the cap. But there you go, everyone. Actually, one more thing I'm just going to do here. Yeah, just leave it like that. But yeah, what else we got going on? Waiting for some family members to watch a short film with me. The film is Merry Melodies. Well, I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great time watching the movies. Movies are fun. Who doesn't love watching some movies? So something I was going to share with you all. This is not the main theme of the day, but something I kind of wanted to talk about, which is funny because it relates to something that happened recently in the gaming world. And that is my project I started at the beginning of the year was I played through Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then wouldn't you know it, like less than 10 days later, it's announced that now Metal Gear Solid 4 for the first time is going to show up on a console other than the PS3, which is pretty interesting. I thought it was great on the PS3. Figured, you know, it's cool. You know, you can find copies of that all over the place, but there's the Master Collection 2 coming out, which will have it on there so you can play it on more modern consoles, which is neat. But I had a really fun time playing the Metal Gear Solid series, something I hadn't really dove into before. We streamed Metal Gear 1 and Snake's Revenge on the NES, although the coolest part is that, so Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2. So I tried to do like the originals because I like to play like on the original console and all that. You know, I'm not too bothered by graphics or anything. Actually, Metal Gear Solid 2 is already 60 FPS, but just on your CRT there. But I did the subsistence version of Metal Gear Solid 3, which came with 2 discs. And one of them has the original MSX games on it, Metal Gear 1 and then Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. So that was a really cool thing to be able to play as well and experience those original games, because like, everyone always says that Snake's Revenge is like not official, Kojima didn't work on it. It is much different than the actual Metal Gear 2, but like it's a fun game. But if you want to, you know, be up to date on the story, you kind of have to play the original. The chat looks great, thank you. So that's why all the, you know, I've been testing out that bubble chat at the top. And yeah, glad to see it. It's looking good and appreciate you all joining in. The Andrew effect, uh-oh, what did I do, Maz Luigi? Again, hopefully like no lag. In OBS it always looks good, but on YouTube I could be moving like 2 frames per second. It could look like a Game & Watch game or something. What's that? That was when you play too much Game & Watch. That's what happens. You turn into Mr. Game & Watch. So something I want to show you in regards to Metal Gear Solid 3 here. The chat colors do go well together. I'm glad to hear that, Wheels. Thank you. So here for the first time, we're gonna try getting up close and personal here, like that. Is my body ready, Real? Hi, Real. Hope you're having a good day. So let's see how this works. We can even zoom in a little bit. I have the camera positioned really well for something we're gonna do later. So like the tripod's like fully adjustable, which is pretty cool too. So this is Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, which is awesome. Again, it's that kind of later release of the game. So we got disc 1, which has Metal Gear Solid 3, which is also really cool because this is like an updated version of it, which has like a fully adjustable third-person camera, and it's not fixed as it always is in the original release. So this is a really cool release to have, although I think all the HD ones that came after were based on the Subsistence update. And then the second disc, which like I said, has like the MSX games, as well as some other bonus features on it. But what I want to show you all, because you might not expect this from a PS3 game, is the manual. And in Metal Gear Solid 2, in Metal Gear 2 for MSX, there's a time in the actual game when it tells you to refer to the instruction manual for help deciphering a code. Now, Metal Gear was awesome. Like, this game is so cool. You've probably all played it. I'm way behind. I have so much to play, and like, that's why you haven't seen me play as many NES games lately, because there's just so much to play. And there's a part of me that like really wants to, you know, play more of the series that I've missed over the years, like Metal Gear Solid. So happy to finally beat up to 4. But you know, we all know some of like the neat parts of this game that that obviously is someone who likes Star Tropics and literal that would appeal to quite a bit. So there's a part of Metal Gear 2 which requires you to look in the manual, and normally that was again an MSX game, so what's in this manual is different than what would have been included in the original. But I was surprised when I looked at even the manual that came with the PS3 game, there was nothing in here to help you solve the puzzle in the game. I'm like, that's weird. They would have obviously, you know, if they're putting an old MSX game onto a PS2 disc, they should have put something in the manual if it's required that you look in the manual to beat the original MSX game. And that was when I realized something I never would have expected to see in a PS2 manual. If we flip to the very beginning here, and we zoom in even more, Hopefully you can still see right here. Please note, this manual is a condensed version of the complete manual and is designed to get you into the action. To download and view a complete manual in PDF format, please type this URL into your browser. So a PS2 game that's already telling you to go online to get the full manual. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. The PS2 library is just literally unplayable now. That's it. I'm getting rid of my PS2 collection. It's done. No, like, I could not believe that. From a game released in like 2005. And of course, the address, if you enter it now, doesn't lead to where the manual is anymore. I had to use the Wayback Machine, like a date from 2005, and I was actually able to find the full 66-page manual. This thing's only 16 pages. You're getting ripped off of 40 pages, 50 pages. So I could not believe that. Like, Konami, this is supposed to be like the special better edition of Metal Gear Solid 3, and they cheaped it on the manual in 2005. I could not believe it. I could not believe when I saw that. So now you know, and like, I'm curious if those manuals have been backed up anywhere, because like there's probably like a scan of this one, but I wonder if anyone has noticed that you have to actually go to that website back in 2005 to get the full thing. So let it be known, like that shocked me. And it's funny because inside that PDF, I will link to it in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord server, please consider checking it out. But I'll link to that, and in there, it doesn't like give you how to decipher the code, it literally just gives you the code in that manual. It feels like a DVD set. What, should there be like a thing bouncing back and forth? Hello, Anthony, hope you're having a great night. Sorry I didn't see a couple of your comments there for a second. Talking about technology, I got a wireless keyboard for this laptop, so I can stand here. Oh, I just turned it off. And I can scroll through your messages a little bit. So, see, I've been trying my best to create a good setup here. Hope you're enjoying it. There are a ton of games, you're right. You're pretty far behind playing your retro Nintendo games. Yeah, there's so much to play. Like, so Metal Gear Solid was a big one that I wanted to play. And like I said, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 now, plus the two MSX games. I want to play Peace Walker as well. But then I have some other series I want to move on to. So I have a feeling it's going to be a very PlayStation heavy year for me. There's like so many games on PS1, 2, and 3 that I want to play. So that's kind of how I'm feeling. Talk about being ahead of its time, Anthony Gleason. Yeah, for all the wrong reasons, right? Behind Nick Gamer, hope you're having a great night. How much space did the code deciphering stuff taking the original manual? It's like, it would have just been like a grid. It would have been like a page. Like, the fact that they couldn't put the code inside the condensed manual is crazy. The fact that you actually have to like go find this PDF, but then if it hadn't done that, I might not have realized that. Like, I was wondering why it was so thin. Like, 16 pages for a Metal Gear Solid manual does not feel right, especially when there's 2 discs, and then like, oh, that's why there's 50 pages missing. But yeah, it is crazy. And yeah, unfortunately the site's not up, Neko. So big win for the Wayback Machine there, but definitely pretty freaky. Why would they do that, Raynok? Exactly, no idea. Konami used the material to make Yu-Gi-Oh cards instead, I guess, Smiles Luigi. Isn't that funny? Isn't that true? Hello, Edric. Hope you're having a great night. I am, thank you. Hope you're all having a great night too. Again, so, you know, the first thing we're talking about in Comfy Classic Chat is like anti-comfy. But I figured it would be a good PSA to all of you. Again, like, you don't expect that with PS2 games. Again, especially one that's supposed to be like the definitive special version of it. How did they fix it in the remasters, Raynok? Like, it's funny because if you know Metal Gear Solid 1, and I don't, like, no matter how old a game is, I don't like to talk about spoilers because you could be like me and like take 30 years before you finally play it. But like anyone who's played, you know, Metal Gear Solid 1 will know that there's a certain thing that you kind of have to do at one point. And it's funny because every re-release that you look at always has that thing that you need. Like they've been doomed for the entirety of re-releasing Metal Gear Solid 1 to include that thing. So I'm assuming that maybe in the other re-releases they put it in the manual or the digital manual. I mean, heck, at least there's a manual at all. It could be like Star Tropics on Switch Online, just you're never gonna know the code unless you go look it up, I guess. Do you have the Mario cabinet yet. Mario cabinets. Like the little ones that we've looked at before. Hey, Boss here, you might have to check the digital manual on Konami's website. Over. Is that something Big Boss would say? Big Boss actually giving us like a legitimate tip for this time? Maybe it was Big Boss who paid them not to put it in here. They figured it's 2005. No one's going to have the internet yet. They'll never beat my game. Something like that. You're one of the versions of Metal Gear 3 doesn't have Graveyard Easter egg. Not sure of that one. Like, there's so much to do in the Metal Gear games. Metal Gear Solid 3 was amazing. It's funny because after Metal Gear Solid 1, like, oh my gosh, I really like this game so much. And it reminds me a lot of just like a 3D kind of, bump up from the MSX games. It still very much plays like the 2D ones, but adds in more 3D elements in the environments and such. And I really, really enjoyed it. Of course, it's just a really great game overall. Lots of good stuff going on in there. And then Metal Gear Solid 2, it messes with your expectations a little bit, of course. I still had fun, but like Big Shell can't hold a candle to Shadow Moses, at least in my mind, if you know me. I felt with every Metal Gear Solid game, it was always kind of like you'd start the next one, and you'd kind of have to readjust to it. It's not like you could just go from one to the other. There was always something new to learn, something kind of new that you had to do. Oops, sorry about that, guys. I'm not used to wearing it, but hopefully that was okay. And there's always kind of something that you have to, get readjusted to. Something you have to kind of figure out. Hey, what's that? Fennec with the 5 gift memberships. Thank you. I shortened that. Remember that used to last like 5 minutes? Oh, we're going to get everyone becoming a member now. But thank you so much, Fennec. Pikachu is going to be really happy welcoming you all and really, really, really appreciate that. Hope you all are having fun watching the stream. But basically, I thought that... Maybe I'll let the thing finish. We'll listen to some nice calming Donkey Kong music for a second there. But welcome everyone, welcome. Hope you all have great nights watching the stream. Like I said, this is just kind of the appetizer. We got some serious stuff to get to here in a minute. But with Metal Gear Solid 3, I thought I wasn't going to like it all that much when I first jumped in because it's like, the jungle. I'm more about those industrial places. And, like again, Shadow Moses, it's like, I don't know. But by the end, oh my gosh, I loved it so much. Definitely my favorite of them all. And way up there. It's like one of the top games I've probably ever played, Metal Gear Solid 3. And like you said, there's just so much to the Metal Gear Solid games that you can play them again and again and again and see new things every single time. And I already feel like almost playing it again with everything I've learned and like just seeing how I would do it differently. So really, really happy I finally got into the Metal Gear Solid series. And if you haven't played it, which you probably all have, I'm probably like the last person to ever play it, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Metal Gear Solid 3 was supposed to be the end for Kojima. Yeah, I read that. So that's the thing too, is now I can finally go out there and read a bunch of stuff, even though again, there's like spin-offs and things I haven't played. Hello, Mr. Sardine. Awesome, you have a Game & Watch collection too? Started to use your Game & Watch Snoopy Tennis as your alarm clock. That's so cool. So when it comes to Game & Watches, and speaking of Snoopy Tennis, we got a couple over here as well we can look at, including Snoopy's Tennis here. When it comes to Game & Watches, I did a 30 days of Game & Watch leading up to the release of the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch that came out. My gosh, this has already been like 5 years since that came out. Was that the 35th anniversary? That's crazy, if true. But basically, if you want to see like half the Game & Watch library in action, I did make videos like that in the past. So hope you enjoy it. Never played the Metal Gear game reel. Yeah, I would recommend them, but like, we all have a big backlog, so, get to them when you can. Can we close this back up, perhaps? There you go. This door's kind of stiff. Good enough, good enough. But thank you again, Fennec. That's very, very kind of you. Hope you're all having a great stream tonight. Let's go back to the close-up cam. Something else I wanted to look at. And again, no one has said anything like it's not looking good, it's not sounding good. And for the first episode, we're about like half an hour in now, and there hasn't been an extreme disaster, so we'll consider that a plus. We'll consider that something, I must be doing something okay. And I can rearrange my laptop a bit here when we're doing the close-up cam so I can see your comments a bit easier. Nice wheels. Yeah, there's so much good stuff on the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, even PS3 there's games I want to play. So I haven't beat much in February. A lot of my spare time in February has been spent setting up for these streams. Hope you enjoy them. Again, every Saturday night from 8 to 10 p.m. we're just gonna do a bunch of crazy stuff here. That Mario 3 guide was your Bible? Well, it's funny. Okay, so maybe we'll rearrange a little bit. I want to talk about something in here for a second. Next to this, growing up, I've talked a lot about how my mom introduced me to the NES, played it as she raised me. I played it starting at an age I don't even remember. And she had this book. So this would be one of the very first books I got my hands on ever. The problem is, this is not the exact copy that I read back in the day. This is. You may notice the absence of a cover. You may notice the not so great condition it's in. If there's one thing children are good for, it's like destroying everything. But that was me. That was me back in the day. I read this thing till it literally fell apart. And you'll just be like looking around the house for something sometimes, and you'll come across a random page of it somewhere that got slipped in between other papers. It was well loved. Neko, I appreciate that. Boomer Bear, welcome. Hope you're having a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoying the classic comfy chat here, comfy classic chat. But yeah, so I read this a lot, and I made a short recently about some secret exits in Mario 3, and there was a comment about how the 1 in 3-7 apparently wasn't featured in this book. And I have not looked, because I thought we would look together to see if that was true or not. We're about to do some game display comment myth busting here. Big Phil, a well-worn book means you got your money's worth. That's the problem, Big Phil. It's like as a kid, it's like, oh, you know, your parents are being mean, not letting you touch stuff, but then the proof of what happens when the kids get their hands on stuff. But again, like you said, well loved, and like at least we have a better one here. Chance, hi Chance, hope you're having a great night. Your brother had that Mario 3 Nintendo Power, and you did a great jump drawing. All the Koopalings, oh, that's cool. Like he drew all the Koopalings. Like that's the thing, you could like, you know, trace the book and stuff, it'd be really neat. One thing to look at on the back, which is kind of funny, is if we look right here, do I need to zoom in there? Because like everyone kind of see this from the angle you're at. It doesn't look too bad from what I'm seeing. So don't miss these action-packed guides. Star Tropics gives you maps, strategies, tips, and more to help you meet the challenges of this huge exotic world of adventure. A Star Tropics strategy guide was at one time planned and never got released, as proven by the back of the Mario 3 manual. Isn't that crazy? So the way this works is Nintendo Power, it started as bi-monthly. That's the one that means like every 2 weeks, right? Like bi-weekly can mean like every 2 weeks, or can mean like twice a week. It's just like, it's one of those English kind of quirks. But basically Nintendo Power started as an every 2 month thing. And then you get to the Mario guides. What happened was they started doing a Nintendo Power issue 1 month, and then a guide the next. So we can see on the end that this is actually Nintendo Power Volume 13. So there would have been another, you know, issue of actual Nintendo Power after this, and then 15, I think, was Final Fantasy, and then Nintendo Power, then 17, I think, was Ninja Gaiden, and then 18, 19 was the 4-player extravaganza, and then they gave up on that plan. So they only ever made 4 guides like this. And then after that, Nintendo Power stayed monthly, which is kind of funny. But yeah, no Star Tropics guide out of all that, but it did get really big features in 2 issues in a row. So my guess is that probably some of the material that they were going to put into a guide got repurposed for that. And of course, Star Tropics got delayed. It was supposed to be released in like summer, and then it got delayed till the winter. So that probably affected their plans as well, which is too bad. Again, I've always wanted to hear a reason for why it got delayed. There's never really been an official reason given. It was common for me to read the game manual on the way back from Toys R Us or wherever to get ready for the game you're about to play. That's awesome, Boomer Bear. That's very, very awesome. Tanuki Bowser, hope you're having a good night. Those were special moments. Oh my gosh, right? Hello. Hello, Barbaric. We're getting there. Barbaric. Tier Emity. Hope you're having a great night. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the classic comfy chat here. Comfy classic chat. Nintendo Power would carry on the tradition of selling guides to subscribers by giving them out as bonuses. Where is that? I just saw that. Oh my gosh, I just had that somewhere. So I can keep talking while... Like I was just looking through something and I saw those. I think it's over here. Problem is I'm kind of close to the camera now. I'm behind the camera. So if I touch something and break it, oh, there goes the power cord. Maybe in here? Maybe in here. Was it not in there? Oh, it's in here. Okay. You can probably hear a plastic bag. Again, hopefully you can still hear me. Hopefully the cameras and stuff are set up correctly. Is this right? Is this right? Yeah, I think what I'm looking for is probably in here. Not that. So that's the problem, is that like I never know just what we might talk about. So like you can only have so much prepared ahead of time. I think it's here though. Okay. Okay, it's here. I hope my address isn't on this though. Is my address on it? It's Nintendo Power related. I should be careful that you can't see this. Actually, I guess that's my old address. I don't care. Go bother my old address. Okay, that does have my address on it, so I will put that down. Hopefully none of this has my address on it. But this isn't exactly what I was looking. Oh, maybe this is what I was looking for. I have other letters too like this. Again, you're just hearing me talk now, hopefully. I'm gonna look through the bag one more time to see if I can find any other things. Because I know I have like a full letter from them too. If I come across it, we'll look at it in the future chat. There's a map from Mario Advance 2. There's an advertisement for some games, advertisements. Okay. So yeah, I've removed the part that had my address on it anyway. And all that. I'm going to double check though to make sure that nothing else has any revealing information on it. So the thing that had my address on is just like a form that you can fill out and send back. And then I guess this probably is okay to show you as well. This doesn't have my address on it. So I had a subscription to Nintendo Power back in the day. And when your subscription was almost up, this is what they would send you. Am I still on the close-up cam? I am. I could have at least switched the other one, I guess, while I did all that. So this is an envelope. This is an envelope that you would like get in the mail. I hope, again, that doesn't have my address. I don't think it does. But like, look at that fancy envelope. It's like shiny. So this would have been back. I'm actually playing Minish Cap right now. So that's funny. I could use that. I could use that guide. You can see I opened it like semi-nicely to kind of keep that all there. And then inside, again, you get an envelope that you would have sent back to them with that filled out card. And then you also get like an advertisement on the things that you can choose to get if you renew. And I have other letters that I kept from them as well. And I thought they were also there, but yeah, if I find those, I'll share them with you another time. But like, interesting, right? Like there's probably not too many of that sort of stuff around. So yeah, let's fill it out, mail it back. What would they do? What would they do? Remember those Boomer Bear? Nice. That's so cool. Neko, glad you like to see it. Big Phil, that's awesome. And again, that's why I love this, because there's just so many times I just want to talk about a random thing. And it's like, what do? Do I make a whole video about like this? But that's why I think these streams are going to be so cool, because I can just show you guys whatever I want. You guys will talk about Nintendo Power, or, you know, I guess I kind of brought it up too. And it's just like, boom, suddenly we're looking at this. So that's kind of the goal here, is just to have fun talking about random stuff and go with the flow, right? You think you saw a thread on Reddit about a guy that accidentally revealed their crypto wallet key and he lost all the money? Oh no, Miles Luigi. Like it's scary. It's really scary. It's so easy to just like whoop, and then everything's gone. Which is why, you know, you see my paranoia. Hopefully you understand. Right now we're checking out retro game related material and having fun hacking quacking. Hi Drugons! Yeah! So this is stuff that Nintendo Power would send you back in the day to like renew your Nintendo Power subscription. And we got on that topic because we were supposed to be looking inside of the Mario 3 guidebook to see some stuff inside there, which we're about to get to. But yeah, and also if I don't reply to your comment, please feel free to like send it again, because, you know, it's a little more involved filming this than my usual streams, but hopefully you're having fun. Hopefully you're having fun. I'm having a great time, so I'm so glad this is working out. And again, hopefully it looks good on YouTube. Sorry to everyone who might have wanted to watch it on the other side, but I think that it's important it works on one better than like working half on both of them. What do we got here? Just gonna see if I missed any comments. Don't blow at something Nintendo told everyone to do with their cartridges. To Nikki Bowser, happy Earth Day. Burley Chow, did Chance say it was a birthday coming up? Well, happy early birthday. Boom. All right, everyone. So let's finally get to what we were going to look at. So once again, here's the ratty version. I read a whole bunch as a kid. And then we're gonna have this version here. We were gonna see if in 3-7 they talk about the secret exit. In 5-1, I'm pretty sure they do. 5-1, they show here about how you can fly up at the start and get this. So the cool thing about the maps is they're all like kind of hand-drawn. It's not just like it's a map, you know, from the game. It's kind of like someone had to get their graph paper out and draw out all these maps individually. Hi, Super Blue! Hope you're having a great night! Big Phil! Big Phil caught on real quick there. I mean, even like the ROM hacks we were playing, the Mario World ones, were giving us a bit of a B33 vibe. I hope you've all been enjoying the music. Hopefully you can hear it well, you know, and it's not too loud, too quiet. But yes, everyone. Christian noticed the song as well. All right, so that's 5-1. Let's move on a little bit. Let's check out 3-7. Let's see what we get going on here. So does 3-7 talk about the secret block or not? Here it is. It is indeed inside of the manual. So myth busted. Make the magic note block appear and launch yourself to coin heaven. I can probably even zoom in a bit on that for you guys. They still call it Jugems instead of Lakitu. There was always like, you know, the kind of toss up in the names back then. Kuribo instead of Goomba. Weird stuff. So what's happening, Super Blue? So we're just looking at random game stuff. Right now we're looking at the Mario 3 Player's Guide. In just a minute, we're gonna move on to kind of the main event of the day. We're gonna hook something up, something that's very relevant to the modern day, something that Nintendo did. And hopefully everybody enjoys that. You're catching up on the VODs and you hear the song in your sleep now. It's such a good song. There's so much good music in B3313. The game seems so amazing back then, to be honest. It still does, doesn't it? But yeah, so myth busted. The secret exit chest is indeed there. But yeah, it's such a cool book. Oh, wrong way. Getting so close. But yeah, there's just like so much good art inside the book and everything. It's awesome. Very awesome book. This one has kind of some stains as well. Do not drink coffee or whatever this was while you're reading your Mario book. But there you go. That's the Mario 3 guide. So I should probably switch back to this. So we're you know, we get close up to look at stuff, but then we also zoom back out and you get a whole bunch of this. So, you know, we can look at stuff in the back, look at stuff over there. But see, you think it's fancy back here, but this is actually just a green screen. There isn't actually cabinets full of stuff in the background. Oh, wait a second. Oh, it is real. But still, don't think I'm actually gonna open up the cabinet and risk ruining everything inside by letting oxygen get to it. Like, that would just be absurd. Like, to think I would actually open up the cabinet and... Well, I guess I have to throw it all out now and start from scratch. Maybe it'll be fine. Maybe. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see it later. Still looks amazing as ever, Boomer Bear. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow. So I guess I had been in close-up mode for so long. I kind of forgot. I went over there and found the mail and stuff, and I should have switched back while I did that. Oh, yeah, and you can all see this laptop here, too. This is the crap top. That's only good for having the chat on it, so I can see it down there, where the real laptop that's actually, like, running the show is over there. Game & Watch Drugons, indeed. So I did a series on my channel called 30 Days of Game & Watch. Again, when did that one come out? Does it have a year on it? Like, remember when this guy came out? Probably has a year somewhere. 2020, like, oh my, has it actually been almost 6 years? Doesn't feel right. But leading up to the release of this, I reviewed 30 different Game & Watches, and then on day 31, we did this one. So it was like a full month of Game & Watch reviews. So definitely go check those out if you haven't seen them. Super Blue, thank you. Really appreciate that. Cool Raphael, hello. Hope you're having a great night. Chance, you're crazy. Am I missing messages from Chance? I don't see Chance saying crazy things. You can expect that GameStop dumpster to be full. Just get all of it. Get rid of all of it. Like the oxygen getting in there, it's going to be all yellow. It's going to be crazy. Now, speaking of yellow, this is kind of yellow. This is Old Yeller. We call this Old Yeller. It is just keeping a spot warm for the day when I finally get my hands on the coveted square button Famicom. That is like one of my most desired items I've always wanted. But in the meantime, we got old Yeller here, keeping the space warm. You probably couldn't tell it was like so yellow in there, but of course there's nicer ones like inside the boxes and stuff. But this is just kind of keeping it warm. Hi Jess, hope you're having a great night. You didn't think you did anything crazy, Chance? Well, you know, Chance, we just appreciate you watching and commenting. Hope you're all having great nights. Oh, they all thought it was my name. You thought I was Chance? Taking over other people's identities here. But yeah, so that's the yellow Famicom there. You got the data recorder, you get the network adapter, you get a bootleg Famicom. Am I even on screen anymore, kind of? You got the disk system. Of course, one of my personal favorites, the AV Famicom. This is my childhood. My childhood NES is the bottom one, and then a European NES is the top one there. So yeah, lots of stuff to kind of look at. Big old Gyromite Rob. So again, every stream I'm gonna come with kind of a idea of what we're gonna look at. I should probably reveal what we're gonna look at today. I'm going to do that in just a second, but I'm thinking next week we're gonna unbox and hook up an NES. And it's not just gonna be like the basic set or something. It's gonna be like a cool one. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But every Saturday, 8 to 10 p.m. is we look at stuff. Computer and games. So yeah, so like I'm fully aware that it's not a real Famicom. Don't be like, oh man, he's got like fake stuff in his cabinet and he doesn't even realize it. But no, I just think it's funny because it really does look like a Famicom box. They really did a good job ripping it off. But to this day, you're still learning new things about Mario 3 here and there. You never knew how OP the Tanuki suit was, but then I never was able to keep it for more than 10 seconds. Isn't that the saddest part of Mario 3? Is you get like the hammer suit and the Tanuki suit, which are so fun to use, but there's like 5 of them in the game, and then like you lose it in 2 seconds, and then it's like, well, that was great while it lasted. Thank you, Neko. Thank you. Got a question. It's a really big. Uh-oh. Super Blue 92. I guess you could try. Oh, Tanuki Bowser, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you had a great week, great Saturday, and hope you have a great day tomorrow. Really appreciate it. The thing we're going to look at, though, once we throw these Metal Gear Solid games out the window, get them out of here, and this keyboard as well does not need to be on screen. The thing we're going to be doing today, very relevant considering what some people have been receiving in the mail these last couple of days, as well as what Nintendo is releasing on the 17th. We are going to unbox and hook up a Virtual Boy. That's my plan for today. Again, on top of everything else that we've already looked at, this is kind of the main piece of the puzzle here. So hope that you all enjoy that. Because yes, on the 17th, Nintendo is releasing the Virtual Boy Online app, and people are already getting like the remodel one that they ordered in the mail. So that will be pretty. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, Virtual Boy, exactly. So that's the plan. Let me clean up over here. So that's what I'm talking about. Every week I'm going to bring kind of a fun and exciting topic, where of course I'm happy to talk about all sorts of other things as well. But you know, I figured having kind of a core thing to eventually get to could be fun. Kind of sad you can't use it on the TV. So again, Super Mario Bro 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Hope you're having a great night. It's so confusing. I guess on the 17th, all of our questions will finally be answered in regards to how it works. If you can play it without the head unit or not, but we'll see. We'll see. You can feel your vision deteriorating already. Isn't that true? It's like, you know, this just beams like red lasers directly into your eyes. I wonder how it will feel different playing it, you know, on the Switch. It would be kind of cool. That's so cool, Drugons. I'm so glad. Nice, Big Phil. Thank you. Had a feeling that would be making an appearance, Neko. Yes, yes. This should be fun. I'm looking forward to setting it up. And also, you can't forget the entire North American Virtual Boy library. Fits in like the palm of your hand right there. All 14 of them. It's such a tiny library. And of course, so Nintendo, of course, the coolest thing about the Nintendo Switch Online one is that it's going to have Dragon Hopper and Zero Racers, which were never released before. I did not personally buy the Nintendo Switch Online headset. If they had announced that sooner, because it was only a recent announcement that they're putting unreleased games with it, I don't know if it would have changed my opinion on that or not. It's too bad it's not like the NES Mini or SNES Mini, where it's like all in the unit. The fact you have to have a subscription is kind of like, what? Wario Land included. We got Mario Tennis. And of course, Virtual Boy Wario Land, which no longer saves. Pretty much all my Virtual Boy games, the batteries are dead. I don't know if they cheaped out on the Virtual Boy game batteries or what, but like, you know, I have Game Boy games which save just fine, not Kirby's Dream Land 2. but Virtual Boy, it's like a complete strikeout. None of them save anymore. It's so weird. You aspire to have a complete collection as you. That's awesome, Neko. It's a fun one to get. I wonder how this will affect the price of Jack Bros. I always tell the story. I collected mine back in 2006. So prices were a little bit different back then. I didn't know, like, I obviously didn't collect them with the intention of them being like, you know, the value increasing. I had so much fun. I bought the Virtual Boy for the intention of playing Wario Land. I had just gone on a complete Wario Land spree at the time, beating Wario Land 1, 2, 3, 4, 100%. And Virtual Boy Wario Land was like the only game I hadn't done that with. I had only played it at Toys R Us on like the demo unit back in like 1995. When I was much younger than you were supposed to be when playing the Virtual Boy, but we can hope that it didn't have any negative repercussions there. Super Blue 92, have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Is this the Game Display Shopping Network? For right now, for only $59.99, and there's no decimal point in there, you can have a complete in-box Virtual Boy. I feel like that Pokemon channel. 20p, buy it now. Oh my gosh, this has been fun. This has already been so fun. And it hasn't even been like an hour yet, so thank you all. Thank you all so much for joining. Again, this is a weekly thing. This is a weekly thing now, every Saturday at 8 o'clock. So I really hope that you all are enjoying it and you're going to enjoy future installments as well. Good to see you, Super Blue. Yeah, take care, Super Blue. Thanks again for stopping by. What a deal, $599.99, or $5,999, exactly. So we're going to unbox that in just a second here. Allow me to grab a drink. Because I have a microphone on my collar, hopefully you can't hear like too many horrible drinking sounds. You probably could. Maybe I'll mute it next time I take a drink or something like that. It's all new to me. It's all new to me. Or maybe you enjoyed the drinking sounds. I don't know. The glass displays look awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, you know, I used to, you know, do a lot more videos where I would be in front of the camera and kind of, you know, talking about stuff. We've looked at the Virtual Boy a few times, but this is going to be fun. I think unboxing it live. So without further ado, probably get to that. The display looked great back in the day, but it looks even better now because there's a real hunger for physical, tangible media that digital downloads can't satisfy. For sure, and also like they've never been lined up before, and I did the coloring of the lights too. Or like the lights, it's not like the bulb is a different color, but it's a sheet of plastic. They're sheets of plastic that I like. Hopefully my address isn't on this. I don't think it is. You know, sheets of plastic that are like fit in along the top, so you can get all sorts of different colors, like green and stuff. But that was how I did that effect. And I think it actually turned out really well. I'm really happy with how that ended up looking. Does it have everything in it? Hopefully you're using copyright-free music. It's always a toss-up when it comes to what's it called? The soundtracks, right? You never know when a song is going to get toasted when it's not. It's all video game music, so hopefully we're okay. But like I remember I used one from like Flying Warriors on the NES one time. I guess the last time I probably appeared on camera like this was when we packed up my NES collection before I moved. And in that one, I used Flying Warriors, which is like the most like obscure NES game. And that was the song that got copyright claimed. So who knows? Who knows? But hopefully we're okay. But yeah, so let's look at the Virtual Boy, everyone. Let's get up close with the Virtual Boy here. So let's do the close cam. And I had it set up so that this should work just fine. So if you happen to go back in time to when this was originally bought, you could head down to your local Babbage's. Is that a thing? Is that a store that existed at one point? And buy this complete in box for $29.99 with a decimal point this time. That is how cheap they were selling these things off back in the day. They got you over an NES song. Exactly, Boomer Bear. Exactly. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. You probably wouldn't buy it even if it was $5.99, like the Virtual Boy. Hope you're having a good night, David Ray. But okay, so yeah, so there's that. And what about the back? So here we go. On the back of the box, Mario's Tennis included. So in Japan, Mario's Tennis was not a pack-in title. It was sold separately, where in North America, it was only a pack-in title. So the Wii with Wii Sports was not the first time that North America got a pack-in, but Japan didn't. So that's kind of a fun fact there. How much did I get mine for? This on eBay, again, back in 2006, $60 complete in the box. Plus it came with a boxed AC adapter. But, you know, that doesn't help to talk about the price of things back in 2006. 20 years ago, I can't believe it. I always loved the backgrounds and music in Mario Tennis. Yeah, Mario Tennis, Mario's Tennis. You know, it's Mario Tennis on the 64, but Mario's Tennis on the Virtual Boy, so that's included. Here's Wario Cruise, which of course would be renamed to Virtual Boy Wario Land. Interesting, that's, you know, it kind of had a different name there at one point. Mario Clash, Tele-Roboxer, all that sort of stuff. Let me zoom out a bit more. There we go. Wii Sports didn't come with the Wii in Japan. It did not, Rainock. I'm like 99% sure it did not. And it was Reggie who like fought for it to be included with the Wii in North America, but I'm like pretty sure it didn't come with it in Japan. Of course, in you know, later on in North America, they stopped including it as well. But I hear things moving around inside, so hopefully it's okay when we open it now. It wasn't meant to be flipped over like that. There's not a nice piece of styrofoam in here. Like, the Virtual Boy is as cheap as it comes, and that includes the packaging. So let's flip this guy open here. Open this, and you're gonna see it's more like, it's gonna be very careful. So any questions about why the gloves is because I don't need my hands ruining everything here, but let's pull this out. And you can see it's kind of like egg cartony. It's not nice. Also, take note that we can save $1 on Duracell, what am I saying? AA batteries. But okay, let's pull this out. What is that? So here you go. So here's the manual. Here's the manual for Mario's Tennis again, which is a pack-in. Doesn't have a box, unfortunately. The cartridge kind of just came included inside. So you got that stuff there. The cardboard that covers up the top of the console here gets 6 free Duracell batteries. Just register this product by calling or mail in the cart. And this is what was rattling inside. The Mario's Tennis game kind of moved from its spot, because as you can see, no nice styrofoam packaging. This is like the cheapest, flimsiest paper packaging. It's definitely not meant to be flipped upside down, as I just did. I probably should have taken this out of the box first. And imagine these things ate batteries like crazy. So by default, your Virtual Boy comes with the battery pack, and this thing takes 6 AA's that will last you like 2 to 3 hours. Do you think that number still works? That's always the question, right? That's always the question. But yeah, so that came with that. But instead, what you want to get, actually, we'll talk about that in a second. So that's the battery pack. Here's the controller, which has 2 D-pads, which is really funky. Really weird thing with the Virtual Boy controller. It's unfortunate that, you know, it wasn't the Virtual Boy controller made to go with the head that they released. And the on-off switch for the console is actually on top of the controller here, not on the console itself. 800 numbers are quite valuable. I wonder who owns it now? Well, Duracell's still around, right? So they probably still have their hands on it, you would think. Wow, free batteries, Drugons, right? Like this is the deal of the century right here. 6 whole batteries, which is the same as things like the Game Gear and the Lynx. So like that wasn't so rare back then. Game Gear is 6, right? Not 4. I'm pretty sure it's 6. The controller is honestly so cool. Yeah, so I should be holding it here for you all to see. Why am I like hogging it all to myself? And it also features L and R buttons on the back, but you see this big gap here, and that's because the battery pack can slide in there. But even better than the battery pack, what you want to get is the AC adapter. How this works is it flips open and a Super Nintendo power cord fits in here. And then with that on the back of the controller, we should slide it like that. Now you can play forever, unless someone trips over the cord. But that's obviously like the best way to play your Virtual Boy. So that was not included with the Virtual Boy though. That was sold separately, while the battery pack is what actually came with it. The Game Gear was a notorious battery hog for sure. Yeah, pretty much everything was. That's why the Game Boy, you know, did what it did. Like it had not as impressive as a display, but it had great games. It had way better battery time. Double wired controller. That's true, yeah. So this part plugs into the console. So let's get to that. How should I do this? Again, thank you so much everyone for bearing with me. First time ever doing this, so I hope you're enjoying. Hope you're having a good time. So yeah, here is Mario's Tennis, gotta say it right, included with the Virtual Boy. Here's the stand. Actually, what do I want to do? Let's get this out first, then why not? So here's the head. What's the best way to show you the head? Should I change back to the other camera? But here you go. So unfortunately, the visor and the stand are not the same as the ones that come with the new Virtual Boy heads for Nintendo Switch Online. It would have been so great if it was like a new way to get official replacements in 2026 for the actual Virtual Boy, but no, it's different. This is completely different. This comes off. Should I do that here? Should I do that? Like, you guys know the visor comes off. Pops off just like that. Where I don't believe that's the case for the Virtual Boy that you buy now. So like, that's completely different. Try and snap that back on nicely. There you go. And also, I think, again, the stand attaches a little bit differently, I think. Cartridge goes in back here, so we can do that. Whoops. So the games had like little dust covers, which the pins are already pretty protected on a Virtual Boy cartridge. But you know, they give you that extra dust cover there. You put label up, unlike the Game Boy, where like label is out. And then in the slot in the back here, the game goes in there, push it in. You can even see how there's like a little bit of a grip for when you're taking it out. And the cover that you just took off, you might notice these 2 bumps on top of the Virtual Boy. That is so that the cover we just took off of the cartridge can sit there while you play your Virtual Boy game. You ended up getting exposed to brutal Game Gear Sonic 2 as a result of having it early in your gaming journey, but that game probably toughened you up. Yeah, the Game Gear Sonic games are pretty cool. Virtual Boy walked so VR could run. You called that number so you didn't have to, folks. You got a message that says, no routes found. I'm guessing it's not active. Hopefully you don't get like a charge. I mean, yeah, 1-800 numbers are free, technically, right? So that's good. Thank you, Fennec. Thank you so much. That's weird, though. You figured Duracell would have still been using it for something. But yeah, that's the Virtual Boy, everyone. Again, too bad that the new parts aren't compatible with it. And you get the stand here. Which folds open. And that is the unboxing of a Virtual Boy. We'll just leave the battery pack in there so we're not eating through batteries. And then I'll switch back to the other camera for all you. Actually, I guess one thing I didn't really do is we can look at the bottom. To have a good, nice look at the bottom. So this is where the controller plugs in. Here is where the link cable was going to plug in, but that never ended up being released. You have your volume slider over here. And yeah, and then this is where the stand is going to attach in a second. Christian was very kind and sent me a picture of the Virtual Boy head that he just received in the mail. And you can see how they tried to even replicate what the bottom looks like, where it's kind of like where the controller port should have been and the link cable port, but obviously they're not real and nothing unfortunately plugs into them. But funny that they added that detail anyway. Can't wait to get the new Virtual Boy for Nintendo Switch, Sammy. Yeah, I hope that everyone enjoys that. It's such a weird thing for them to be releasing that all of a sudden. Like, it's the first full year of your new console, and like, was it really the time to release the Virtual Boy Nintendo Switch Online? And it's funny because it's not even like it's a Switch 2 exclusive, so I don't know. It feels like weird timing, but for everyone who's never had a chance to experience this, I hope that you enjoy it. It's a cute recreation though, Neko. Too bad it doesn't actually work, right? The only other battery hog I can think of on the Virtual Boy level is the Sega Nomad. Oh, that's another good one, Phil. That's another good one. Sorry, let me put this down here. And then if I switch back to this view. Actually, I guess one thing I can do before we switch back to view again is we can do a quick look through all the Virtual Boy games. So this is all 14 games released in the West. Mario's Tennis, Virtual Boy Wario Land, Mario Clash, where Nintendo committed the biggest sin they ever could have in like a Mario game, where B is jump and A is throw in a Mario game. How do they mess that up in a Mario game? It's so weird. Vertical Force, for all you shmup fans out there. But you can also use it for Switch 2 VR for games with VR modes. What, NECA, was that? Is that in reaction to messing up B and A? Yeah, that's that always surprises me whenever I pick up Mario Clash again. Red Alarm, kind of Star Foxy. Teleroboxer, very Punch-Out-esque. Panic Bomber, to get your Puyo Puyo fill, but like a little bit different. Galactic Pinball. It's pinball. No shmup, says Christian. Such an amazing library, Hack and Quack. And honestly, like, it's not bad. It's just like you gotta play them on the Virtual Boy. So that's Jack Bros, which again, very cool that that one will be available for everyone on Switch Online. I really like 3D Tetris. It's like nothing like traditional Tetris, but the puzzle mode where you like have to build the things that they tell you to, I like that mode. And again, unfortunately, it doesn't save anymore, so you got to do it all in one go. Nestor's Funky Bowling, because Nestor from Nintendo Power finally got a game. It was just kind of on the most unsuccessful console ever. So Virtual Boy sold less than 1 million units, like 800,000 or so. And of course, Waterworld, what a fitting game to have on such a bomb of a console. And then you get golf. And then you get Virtual League Baseball. And there you go. That is the complete North American Virtual Boy library. Waterworld and Nestor's Funky Bowling aren't coming to classics as of now. I wonder why. Like, who owns the rights to Nestor? Howard Phillips, maybe? I mean, but no, but Nestor was in the last issue of Nintendo Power, so I don't know. But okay, let's switch back to that. There you go, everyone. Hope you're all having a great night. So yeah, that was the Virtual Boy. That was opening up the Virtual Boy. Hope that you enjoyed that. Where do I want to put all this now? Let's put the box here. Or maybe I'll just leave it on the table so everyone can see it. Close it back up a little. Put it like there. Something like that. Perfect. All right, let's set up our stand. Let's get the Virtual Boy hooked up here. So kind of like that. Put this guy here. So there's like a button you press that kind of opens up this clamp. And then you can do like that to kind of lock it in. Hopefully we can do it right. I've been told by someone that the Virtual Boy fits better when you do it this way. And like, they're not even wrong. I mean, maybe they are. Maybe I'm wrong. I always have a little bit of trouble with this. You might get to see the world's first Virtual Boy destruction on stream. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's like ever shown like that. In the manual, it's not shown like that. it works, whichever way. People are hi-wise bunny. Yeah, so they're already getting their Switch Virtual Boys. It's true. It makes a lot of sense because you're gonna want to have it for when the games come out in a few days. So it was nice of them to send that out a little bit early then. I bet they're skipping Nestor because they don't want to reference Nintendo Power, but that's just a guess. True, right? Later this year, Nintendo will release an update to allow you to change colors. Like, really? That's not going to be available at launch? That's so weird. And then, of course, this goes underneath in that spot where the controller goes. Just like that. So, of course, one of the big problems with the stand... Oh, it's not even on right. Huh. Like I said, I'm bad at getting the Virtual Boy stand on. We'll try it this way then. Like I said, even if you don't like me, even if you don't like retro games, stick around for when I inevitably break something. That's going to happen eventually. Hey! There you go. Finally. The trick was picking it up off the table. People are getting, yes. You're just gonna play without the goggles? Hi Tuxedo Worth, someone mentioned Waterworld. Uh-oh. Want some good game music to listen to the SNES Waterworld soundtrack. You're serious? All of you will like it. Even the Virtual Boy Waterworld soundtrack's not bad. It's made by Ocean Software. Like their NES games also usually have a pretty rockin' soundtrack, so it doesn't surprise me to hear that in the slightest. So we got our controller in now, the head is on, the game is in, and then as I mentioned, you are going to want to get that Super Nintendo power cord. It would have included one with it as well, but like it's the same one that the Super Nintendo uses. And it plugs into there, like that. And you close that up, and now you're ready to play your Virtual Boy. You can connect the Virtual Boy to the TV. That would be the ultimate way to play the Virtual Boy, right? It's something I've always wanted. Surprised there aren't like more kind of mods for that sort of thing. But again, finally, in like 3 days, all of our questions are going to be answered in regards to whether or not you can play the Virtual Boy games on the TV without it having to be like 3D and without the headset. So that is exciting that we're finally going to get the answer to that. You believe someone who did the DKC series music did work on the soundtrack too? Oh, interesting. Waterworld was ironically made by a company named Ocean. That's true. That's true. Very, 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 very true. But yeah, that's the Virtual Boy in all its glory there. Do you want to see if we can turn it on? And you guys can like look inside the Virtual Boy. See, and you can kind of compare it to when you get your thing in a few days. Let me grab another drink here. You guys know me, I need lots of drinks, but it's awkward because now I'm like on camera, so I don't know what to do about it. But okay, I can move this camera here. This is a really cool tripod. I really like how it's set up right now, but I can always change that again. Let's do like this. Maybe I'll do this. Or actually, no, maybe I'll do this one. Yeah, something like that. This is one thing I did not try before the stream, so I probably should have. We'll bring this down. But yeah, fully adjustable tripod, or not even like a tripod, like a stand, which is pretty cool. Tighten that one up a bit more. And then I'll do this with this, maybe. And then I will do like this. Does that let you see inside at all? Maybe, kind of, a little bit. Oh, I bet I should straighten this part out. That's what I should do. I should straighten this out. Oh, that's good. That's looking much better. And then if I do a little bit more like this, All right, something like that. Now, you might be able to see inside the Virtual Boy. Maybe. Or maybe not, who knows. I hope you all are having a great night. Really appreciate you stopping by this stream here. Okay, maybe that works. Maybe ever so slightly. Now if I do that, and I like zoom into that, it's kind of okay. Maybe. Let's switch over to the other angle. Now you get a thing like that. Let's turn it on. We can also stop the music for a second so that you can hear the Virtual Boy. Took up a camera to your eyes. Easy, says YS Bunny. There's a song called Waterworld in DKC3, interesting enough. That's true. That is so true. All right, here we go. It should be on. Did I plug in the thing? Is it on? Maybe you just can't see it from your angle? Did I plug something in wrong? These are the questions we gotta ask ourselves. So the Virtual Boy definitely didn't turn on, despite the fact that, oh no, it is on. Just kind of got to be more up and close to it. There you go. You can kind of see it in there. Basically, it's very tough to stick a camera into the Virtual Boy and see what you got to see. Let's like do that. I could always take the visor off again, if that would help. Well, I could turn the lights off too. Nah, I'd probably trip over something and break something. And the music too. Where's the music? All right. This idea was not one of my best ones. The point is it works. And you will all now have the chance to experience the Virtual Boy on your own, in your living rooms, thanks to Nintendo Switch Online. So that's pretty cool. But that's the Virtual Boy set up and working. Hope you enjoyed the horrible angle that you just saw of that. But basically, that's what the original console was like. Makes you see, like Red Jerry and Kraber did in that Seinfeld episode. That's a good one with the chicken sign, yes. Oh, it's upside down? Was something upside down? Probably. It's like trying to line up a microscope in a lab, says Neko. There you go. Time to see through Darth Vader's helmet, says Chance. I like that. Should watch the Slow Guys video about the Virtual Boy. It's very cool. Watch, says Fennec. Yeah, the Virtual Boy is just like a really interesting topic all around. And it is just like such a cool device. Again, who would have ever thought that you would once again see Nintendo do anything Virtual Boy related, especially since they never put them on the 3DS, right? Like you'd think that on the 3DS, that would have been the perfect time to bring back Virtual Boy stuff. It has always been theorized that like maybe Nintendo just didn't want the bomb that is the Virtual Boy anywhere near the 3DS, as that was already having enough problems. But then like, where's the logic in putting it on the Switch 2 all of a sudden? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But to everyone who's going to be playing some Virtual Boy, hope you have fun. Again, the library is small, but it certainly doesn't mean that there's like not some really good games on there, like Virtual Boy Wario Land, of course. Like I said, 3D Tetris, Vertical Force to get your shmup fill. Lots and lots and lots of good stuff. Slow-mo. Am I going slow-mo again? Watch slow-mo. Oh, the slow-mo video of like slow-mo of how it works. Yeah, it's just like beaming red lasers into your eyes. I'm sure it's very healthy. Carbon Spire, hello. Sammy, you had a Virtual Boy back in 1998 when you were a little kid. And that's it too. Like I first played the Virtual Boy at an age before you were supposed to play the Virtual Boy. So who knows? Who knows how that may have affected who knows what. A friend of mine saw a Virtual Boy at a store for 300 USD last summer. I mean, like just the unit. I guess that's probably about you know, what they go for these days. I wonder again if like the games and stuff being more accessible now will change at all. How the pricing works, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Now that I've messed up this so nicely, allow me to try and make sure I'm tightening this so it doesn't fall apart. Which I'm ashamed to say I have a little bit of experience in this this stand imploding because I did not do things ever so correctly. Get this set up again though so we can look at some more things up close. Hopefully it's good enough. But yeah, I hope again everyone's having a good night. Anything else anybody wants to look at? So again, that was kind of my demonstration of the Virtual Boy. Any other thoughts? Anything in the background that's like, oh man, if I took that out of the cabinet, you guys would want to have a bit of a peek at that? I'm up for suggestions. Again, we got like another little bit here. So that's still turning. If I do like a little bit of that. But yeah, the Virtual Boy, one of Nintendo's more interesting stories. You know, the Wii U kind of gets put there with it as well. At least the Wii U sold like almost 13 million units. Hi, Neko. Neko, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hope you're having a great night. Enjoying the stream. Thanks for becoming the super member. Mario DDR? You want to see Mario DDR? I don't know if we're going to unbox that. DDR mats, trying to pack them back up and put them into the box, but I can take it out of the cabinet for you. Let's move that over here for now. Why not? That's that. Move the controller over here. Not knock over our stack of Virtual Boy games. We're going to move the Virtual Boy box like over here for now. This can also move for the time being. Put that down there. You want to see Mario DDR though? Sure. Let's grab that guy out of the cabinet. On top of Mario DDR, we also have a Mad Catz memory card. Remember Mad Catz? And we also have another thing on top too. We have a Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Wii disc holder case. But yeah, Mario DDR, like whoever would have thought that would be a crossover. Got the Madden game individually for rather cheap. Yeah, it was never like an expensive game. I don't know what it's at now. I don't really keep up with the price of everything particularly. But from last I looked, it's like if you really want to get your hands on Mario DDR, it's like not the craziest thing. It looks so cool. Isn't it a nice box? Like whoever would have thought there'd be such a crossover. But yeah, it is very, 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 very nice. Glad that you enjoyed seeing it. This side, it's like a big old just Nintendo GameCube on there. Am I still expanding my collection? Hello, Rodark. These days I don't actively collect too much. Just if it's something like I really want to play. I'll buy the game and play like the actual game. But I don't go out of my way too much to collect things anymore. It's not like it used to be out there. Just kind of what I got, and I'm really happy with it. And yeah, so I don't actively expand the collection too much these days. But thanks for asking. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Mario DDR is one of the cheapest GameCube games without the mat and just the game. Isn't that funny? The thing is, like, there weren't really any other DDR games on the GameCube, were there? So is this the only GameCube mat? But there were a lot of Wii DDR games. So that mat probably works on the GameCube too. That's probably how it works. So yeah, you can probably just get any DDR mats. The game's not that expensive. And have a blast with Mario dancing. Mad Catz, the official sibling controller, right? Well, look at this. I told you, we're gonna break something eventually. So stick around. Stick around if for nothing else for that. GameCube memory card, 251, 4 times the space. Because GameCube memory cards were so weird. The original one had like 50 blocks on it, and then Nintendo released their own that had like 250 blocks on it. And then by the end, the biggest one was like 1,019 or something. So Mad Catz maybe actually getting a little bit ahead of the game and releasing a bigger memory card before Nintendo did. So that's not too bad. There was a Mickey Mouse DDR game on N64 with a mat and everything. Like, that's crazy. You were talking about PlayStation games earlier. Have you checked out the Star Ocean series yet? Do you recommend it? So I have some of the Star Ocean games. I think I have the second one for PS1. And I have the PS2 one as well. What's this? Here we go. Let's look through some PlayStation 1 games out of the PlayStation cabinet here. We got Street Fighter in the front. So this one will be out of alphabetical order. I just put with like a certain game in front. Then you got Sports Car, GT, Spyro the Dragon, 1, 2, 3, and Star Ocean right here. But this is like the second one, right? As implied by the title, the second story. So I don't have Star Ocean 1. And if you know me, I have to play a series like in order. So that's kind of the thing. How many discs? 2 discs. Big old chunky manual in there, which is pretty cool. Bigger manual than Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence had. And then there's the second disc. But yeah, multi-disc games, always super cool. You have both of them, Neko. You haven't finished the second story on PS1, but you loved everything you played so far. Nice. Yeah, I have an RPG that I want to beat coming up. On my like big list of things to play in the very near future is an RPG, 2 RPGs. It's like 2. And one of them's on the PlayStation. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. But yeah, thanks for suggesting Star Ocean there. Again, I'm not too familiar with that. And the other series you always hear a lot about is Lunar. I have, I think, Lunar complete on PS1. Just the discs though, not the case, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's better than nothing. And then, yeah, I'm not too sure about the Lunar series. Like, it looks cool, but I would need to learn more about it before I got into it, probably. Star Ocean 1 was released on Nintendo Switch, it says next. Oh, neat. It's very neat. But yeah, that's some PS1 stuff right there. Of course, again, I just beat Metal Gear Solid 1, which was a PS1 game, which was pretty cool. And it's funny because, of course, Metal Gear Solid is also a 2-disc game. And last year I beat Grandia on the Sega Saturn. And the way the 2-disc game worked on the Sega Saturn was you'd get to the end of disc 1, you would save, and then you would like turn off the game, put in disc 2, and then just when you loaded the save data, like it knew, okay, this save data goes with disc 2. Where Metal Gear Solid, like the game doesn't turn off. You insert disc 2 while it's still on. So I thought that was kind of funny. Lunar 2, my friend grew up with that game. It's a bit of a different meaning there. I loved it. Very nice. Very, very nice. Again, like growing up, I wasn't the big RPG fan. I played like the Paper Marios. I played the Pokemons. But I didn't expand much beyond that, and these days, though, I love RPGs. Like I said, I beat Grandia 1, 2, 3 last year, Dragon Slayer, Legend of Heroes 1 and 2, lots of great RPGs out there, and I'm definitely excited to play even more of them. Never got into RPGs, says Wheels. You're sure they're fun to play, but you prefer beat-em-ups? Beat-em-up games more. No, very fair. Like, again, everyone's gonna have their genres that they enjoy, right? Absolutely. But yeah, so that was Mario DDR, Mario's DDR mix. Again, like just the fact that this exists is so cool. Weird game for sure, but like Hack and Quack was so kind to look up there, not that expensive if you're looking for it. And what way did I have it in the cabinet is a really good question. Did I have it in there like this? I think it was probably in there like that. And then these two can kind of go back on top. What else we got inside this cabinet that can be kind of fun to look at? We have the Pokemon DX. Oh, something's breaking. No, there was a wave bird on top of it. I did not see. This is the Pokemon DX special GameCube. So the Jewel like comes out, right? Maybe not on this one. But on some of them you can pop the Jewel out. So I was gonna say you can just like swap it into any GameCube, but no. So this one is kind of like special thing there. For Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Hi Lucky Bacon, seeing the reactions of some Let's Players to Metal Gear Solid's Insert Disc 2 was funny. Some would think they somehow died since it's a similar animation. Oh really? I never got that. Oh yeah, it does do that. Oh, okay, maybe I understand, yes. You want one of those so bad? Yeah, it's such a, like, no special color to it. Japan got so many cool colored GameCubes, where we just got the platinum, the indigo, and the black. But no, it's very nice, even as it is. You see that Mario 25th anniversary and still annoyed about it? Why? What happened to your Mario 25th anniversary? This is going to shock and amaze you. Behind Mario 25th anniversary, we have another Mario 25th anniversary. Because they ended up being like everywhere by the end. But yeah, that was a funny thing, wasn't it? How they just took Mario All-Stars, which like should have been, and look at that, the Velcro came off. it's at that point, I guess. you know, a game that should have just been on the Wii shop channel, and put it on there. Here's something that's kind of cool. Hope it doesn't fall forward. This is, oh, I messed up the camera so we can't get like too close of a look at it. I'll try. This is a Nintendo points card for 1,500 yen, but it's like a special EV version. I saw this all over social media before I went to Japan back in like 2019. And so I made sure to grab one when I was there. I never ended up using the yen though. I never opened it, but I just kind of kept it as a souvenir. I thought it was so cute. All right, I'm gonna see if I can set this camera back up. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. So that we can kind of appreciate things in close again. It might not be perfectly straight. Oh, you can kind of see beyond the table. That's not too bad. Actually, let me do this. But yeah, again, I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I like taking just like random stuff out of the cabinets and having a look at it. It really is like the evolution of, you know, the display videos I used to do, where we'd all gather around on the couch and look at a bunch of stuff. But in this way, like, it's actually like real time, where we can just look at whatever you guys feel like. And again, every week we're going to be doing this, so I hope you'll join me next Saturday as well. This is turning a lot now. I don't like that. Can I not tighten that a bit more? Okay, there. And if I secure this now, and then we zoom in a bit. All this because I tried to show you the Virtual Boy, and like it didn't even work anyway. There's gonna be a lot of jank. Again, watch for the jank if that's your thing. So over here, yeah, like look at that. It's a cute Evolution Nintendo points card. And again, only in Japan, 1,500 yen. So that was just kind of a cool thing that I picked up on a trip over there. Hi, YS Bunny, indeed. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the comfy music. This is all picked by me, the entire playlist. It's not like a YouTube playlist or anything like that. It's like actually on the hard drive, assembled personally. So hopefully it's been good. I did a test stream yesterday, and you know, I hear some songs, I'm like, I don't know if that one fits so well. So I had a chance to take a few out before we went prime time here. The game display showing off the titular game display. Fennec, you're gonna go now, Christian. Christian, thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great night. Yeah, again, appreciate everyone just dropping by. Of course, want to look at some other close-up GameCube stuff? Here is the Hori Game Boy Player controller. This is really neat. Because of course the GameCube controller, I never had a problem with it really, but this is of course really good for playing your Game Boy Player games. Donald, thank you so much for subscribing. Hope you're having an absolutely wonderful night. Enjoying some looks at retro stuff here. Here's something. This is something you'll probably never see anywhere else. This is a 2-pack of Donkey Kong GameCube games, still sealed. Like, they came bundled together. I've never seen this anywhere else before. But, you know, if you want Jungle Beat and Donkey Konga 2, this is the set for you. How do you beat that? Now, as a Super NES controller, yeah, isn't that neat? I really like that chance, how they kind of were inspired by the Super Nintendo controller when they made that. All right, let's stick that back over there. So much to look at, though, so much. Again, I'm really glad that everyone's enjoying. I guess I'll go back to this camera for now. You recently got the Nixie GameCube controller for your Switch and you love it. Nice, Carbon Spire. Hello, Rodark again. Maybe something for Canada, considering the French on the bundle. Yeah, so that's the thing about the Canadian stuff, is you definitely do get the French and the English back there. It's funny when you have... Do I have a good example of this for you? I'm going to leave the room. This might mess up my earphone, though. I think the microphone's really good when it comes to, like, leaving the computer a bit, but the bootleg AirPod doesn't really like it. So I want to find you guys a good example of that. It's funny because, and you guys can tell me if there's like ever a point when you can't hear me anymore. Sometimes they have to rearrange what the back of the case looks like, or Like, where is it? Mario Toadstool. Like, this one is the one that has that on it. And this is this one. Aha, okay. Perfect. Oh, my bootleg AirPod never crapped out. So here we go. Let's once again get up with the close-up cam. Hello, everyone. Hopefully it did not blow up. Close cam. Here we have 2 copies of Toadstool Tour. One of them is the Player's Choice version, and you can see that it has the French there. This is what the back of the all-English one looks like. And this is what the back of the French-English one looks like. They had to remove a whole screenshot just to fit in all the French text. So sometimes we get completely ripped off with the Canadian versions. Still good. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, guys. Oh, you did lose me for a moment. Okay, hopefully it wasn't too bad. But yeah, so that's the struggle of the Canadian versions of things. 1 second. Let me see. All right then. So yeah, it's kind of funny how that works out. Oops. Okay, so let's switch back to this then. US version has 2 Donkey Kongs. That's true. That is so true. You love both variants. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, variants are interesting. I don't go out of my way to collect variants, but you know, sometimes I would kind of just happen upon them, and I think it was kind of cool to have an example of that. I've always wanted to show an example of that, so this finally became like a good opportunity for that. Again, I used to just kind of sit on the couch and make like videos of like a specific thing, but I'm really enjoying this format where we kind of just, you know, look at whatever that people may want to see. Because yeah, there's quite a bit there. So let's put this guy back then. This controller as well. I think this was a Nintendo Power like renewal bonus where it's indigo on the front, but it has like the clear transparent on the back. I thought when I first saw this, I thought it was like someone custom made it, but this was actually like an official thing at one point, which is kind of weird. What's my most expensive Dreamcast item? Ooh, expensive Dreamcast. It's a good question. Again, I don't think too much about the values. Like, yeah, what is the most expensive Dreamcast game? Like, oh yeah, so I could not believe the other day I was looking up Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast, and like just the game Sonic Adventure 2, it's like in the hundreds now. I was shocked. I was shocked. So I mean, there's that, but I don't know if I have anything more expensive than that, but it's very surprising to see like something is, you would think common is Adventure 2, but like I never really saw Adventure 2 around much, so I guess it makes sense it's one of the ones that would end up being a little more expensive. Let's put that back there. Got the Hori controller there, and put this guy back in there. I guess it's good to clean up a little bit as we go, so that there's not like a ton to do after. And it keeps the table a little bit clean. Oh, this is a funny one. This is a funny one. So in 2019, when I went to Japan, the Pokemon Center in Ikebukuro, Tokyo, they had a thing where you got this sheet of paper and you went around the store and you had to solve puzzles that were on the wall. And depending on what Pokemon was the answer to the puzzle, you folded the paper like along that Pokemon's line. And the point was, if you kept folding it along the proper lines, eventually you formed a star. And your prize for that star was this My 251 Nintendo Pokemon badge, because at the time they were having a promotion where like you could buy a plushie of all 251 Pokemon from the first 2 gens at the store. So that was kind of a cute campaign that they had going back then. Do you have a favorite GameCube game? If you answered already, you missed it. No, again, even if I had answered it, don't be afraid to ask questions. Probably Wind Waker. Kind of cliche answer maybe, but GameCube has so many good games. You got Wind Waker, Smash Brothers, Double Dash. So many. So many. Yeah, it was a very cute promotion. I don't think I've ever really seen anyone else talk about it, so it's kind of an interesting thing. I remember games coming with a translated printed manual, sometimes double wrapped. Yeah, that was a big thing where like they would put like a French manual on the back, so it would be wrapped with the French manual, but then like underneath that was like the proper games wrapping. So that was always pretty funky. You don't really see that anymore though. Yeah, GameCube, Wii was maybe the last time that was more of a common thing. Good answer. Your favorite is WWE Day of Reckoning. No, there's so many good GameCube games. Like, how do you pick? GameCube also had like good third parties as well. Like we're talking about Sonic. You know, Sega had a good presence over there. There's so many good GameCube games. Really enjoyed Eternal Darkness Chance. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I want to play more Eternal Darkness. I played a bit with a friend back in the day, and I've not beaten it, so that would be a cool one to really get to. I think I had a few other things prepared to share with you guys in case we needed it. What else could we talk about? It's like, there's nothing to talk about, guys. I have no idea what else we could possibly discuss here today. You want to see some standees? You want to have a Mario Party? Well, here's a couple of promotional things from a couple of Mario Party games that you may have seen in the background of some of my videos at one point. So we have one from Mario Party 5, but we have a balloon from Mario Party 8 sticking out of the top. Very kind of contrasting games. Well, kinda. You know, Mario Party 8 had the candies, but they were kind of the same as the capsules from Mario Party 5. So from this angle, you know, it takes two to combine and say Mario Party 5, but then on the back, you get it all in one with Waluigi advertising 60 new mini games. Doesn't Mario Party 3 advertise like 80 new mini games? There's a difference between the two NES behind you. Yeah, Hack and Quack. Let's talk about some NES. Want to talk about that a little bit? Let's put that off to the side. Put these guys back in here. So the NES, this is a European NES. I told a story about this one day where someone was selling like a big collection and I wanted to buy it, but they didn't want to sell anything individually. So I didn't end up getting it. And then like a few weeks later, I went to a store and it happened to be the store that guy had sold his whole collection for, and I bought the European NES there. And it's funny how it even says like European version on the front. So it makes it really clear that this is not your North American NES. And this NES is very yellow. Again, with the lighting, you maybe can't tell exactly just how yellow it is. So why do I have a yellow NES inside the cabinet? And that is because this is my childhood NES. This is the one that I grew up with back in the day that my mom played, that I played before I can even remember, with my childhood copy of Mario Duck Hunt in there. And you can always tell it's the one that was from back then because the dog that my parents had back then knocked it off the table and this corner popped out. Maybe I can show you closer up. Like this corner, I don't know, can you see that? Maybe a little. Like this corner is out of place here. And you could probably fix that by like opening it. But basically, like that's how it's always easy to remember that was the NES I grew up with back in the day. So it's very special, and that's why it's inside the cabinet there. Yeah, thanks for asking about that. You know me, I love my NES. The original Boomer, yes. And we're gonna talk NES. Let's include the family computer. You want some family computer love? Why not? Let's get the family computer out. Again, we've already talked about Old Yeller. Old Yeller just keeping the space nice and warm there for the day. It has fulfilled its duty. But here's the Famicom. Let's put this stuff over here. And let's move the GameCube games aside a little bit. So here's the Famicom. Let me just see what we got going on here. Let's move some of these things. Like put those down there. So family computer, the Japanese iteration of the NES here in the box. Here are the pamphlets and such. There's the manga that you may have seen the translation I did of it. Family computer da. So it's kind of an introduction to the family computer there. And then you get the actual console in there. Of course, it's weird because the controllers are actually like attached to the console. But if you open them up, you can't actually like detach the cords. So if there's something wrong with the cord, you could replace it with another one, which is pretty neat. Hi, Sammy. Do I have Atari games? I do. I do have a shelf of Atari games and such. So yeah, you probably noticed that it's pretty much all Nintendo stuff in the back because they're the World of Nintendo cabinet. So it made sense to have them full of the Nintendo things. But like I mentioned, every week we're gonna be looking at something a little bit different. So one week will probably be, you know, Atari focused and such. Next week will be Nintendo focused again. And then maybe the week after that, there's a lot of Nintendo stuff to talk about. But there will be like other consoles too, don't worry. So we'll talk about more about Atari in the future for sure. Here's the interesting looking RF adapter that goes with the Famicom. Kind of a funky thing there. Fun fact, in Europe, Mattel distributed NES consoles in Italy, for example, and the NES are branded Mattel. No, that's true for the Canadian NES as well. Yeah, like here, it says Mattel. I think some of them have more of like, you know, like the red and white Mattel sticker on it. But yeah, that's true. And the boxes as well say like Mattel on them, which is kind of annoying because when I have them all lined up on the shelf, sometimes the Mattel logo kind of takes over. Like I'll get you an example here. Where's a good one? Mario 3 is kind of a culprit. So like that. And what's the game beside it? So, okay, Super Pitfall is beside it. You thought you'd seen the last of Super Pitfall on the channel, but now you're gonna see it again. Where the games, are we at the close-up cam still? We are. You know, the games have Mattel on the front. And then since I line my games up on the shelf kind of like this, the logo gets really squished and like the Mattel logo takes up space at the top, where like obviously there's a lot of NES games that don't have that. So the American version kind of has it more of a full title up there, where in Canada we got a little bit ripped off. Mattel, the Hot Wheels people, exactly, Boomer Bear. Yeah, the whole kind of weird stuff when it comes to the distribution back then for sure. In EU, oh, Mattel's on like the lid of like the console. Oh, that's weird. Well, it's funny because this is the European version, right? And does it say Mattel on the front of this one? Nintendo Entertainment System European version. This one underneath says GS Gepritz Schnitzel or something. Not sure. Doesn't say Mattel here, but neat. So yeah, that's the European NES. Do you ever play any of these games? I'll let the chat answer that. Chat, do I ever play any retro games, any classic games? Have I ever beaten an NES game in my life? It'd be a little biased if I answered, so I'll let the chat take care of that one. Andrew mentioned above Europe had 2 versions. Oh, okay. PAL A and PAL. I'm a pro gamer? Oh, that's too kind of you. Only Good Games official. Thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Do I care about Dreamcast when it was new back in the day, Jess? I definitely played more Nintendo back in the day. My experience with Sega certainly came more from trying it at friends' houses. I knew so many people who owned the Genesis Model 2 with Sonic 2. And then growing up, I also had a chance to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles a few times. I didn't play Sonic 1 until the Mega Collection on the GameCube. Because like no one I knew owned it. Everyone started the Genesis with Sonic 2 and then like they never went back and bought Sonic 1. I never played a Saturn growing up. Is that true? Is that true? It's not ringing a bell playing a Saturn growing up. But Dreamcast I did. Dreamcast I talk a lot about how I played the demo unit at Costco when it was new. And I think I played it a couple other places as well. I played a lot of, the Sonic Emerald Coast, the first level. Because it was always what, was kind of on. But Dreamcast is awesome. So, and I just beat Grandia 2 last year on the Dreamcast. A lot of the music you've been hearing tonight, sometimes it comes from Evolution 1 and 2 on the Dreamcast. Oh, here's a Grandia song right now. Grandia 1, though. I never got to play the Saturn either. It was such a kind of a weird spot, right? Like, the release was all... It's so sad that the Dreamcast is so good, but Sega's missteps leading up to it sealed their fate, right? I play all the games. Retromaster, The Game Room Awakens. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. Never got to play Saturn either. It's funny how you were looking for a Saturn and you found a Dreamcast recently, hacking quacking. Well, I mean, it's pretty good to find a Dreamcast. Again, Grandia music right now. Grandia 1 I played on the Japanese Saturn last year. Was not released in English on the Saturn, only on the Dreamcast. Not on the PlayStation. What's my favorite Dreamcast game? It'd probably be Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2 was really, really good. But there's a lot of good stuff on the Dreamcast. I did get to try the Dreamcast before it came to America. It was at one of those weekend flea markets. And those flea markets had very rare stuff back then. No, flea markets used to be the place to be. I got my copy of Smash Brothers Brawl like a few days before it came out at a flea market. I went looking for NES games and I looked at the shelf behind the counter with like the newer stuff. It's like, oh, Brawl is there. I guess I'll just buy it now. And then I went and canceled like my pre-order. So I remember I've always told the story about how I beat the adventure mode like 6 a.m. the day the game was supposed to come out, which is a funny memory. We've got to try. Can I hear the nostalgic springy noise from the zapper? Yeah, of course you can. Now, this is a bit of a lie. Let's see if you like the sound. This is not the zapper. I was wondering if anybody would notice. This is a Famicom compatible. It looks exactly like the zapper though. You're welcome, Fennec, you're welcome. Can we play Dreamcast? Maybe someday. Hello, Richard, what's up? It's really cool that we finally see your face tonight. Yeah, it's been so long. It's been so long, but so happy to see so many people enjoying this stream. And thank you so much for stopping by too. We're wrapping up here. I didn't know how it would go, you know. I'm shocked that all the cameras have worked well, it seems. Audio seems to have been okay. My voice is ever so barely holding in still. But that's, again, my 2 hours is probably a really good time. Wonder if we'll get Yoshi Safari on Switch Online Classics. Are there any Super Scope games on there? That's another whole thing. Super Scope. That's cool. With the table getting clear, yes. Been a great time, Chance. Thank you. Lucky Bacon, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. But okay, everybody. With that, take care. Next Saturday at 8 p.m., we're doing this again with the table a little cleaner. And don't forget on Tuesday, we're back to more B3313. Don't forget to join the Discord server as well. Share this with your friends. Hope you had fun, everyone. Bye for now. See you later. If I do this, and then I do this,